Morning, Sunday drivers. Today we're going to do something pretty cool with Jethro. For those of you that may be new to the channel, Jethro is my 2006 F-150 FX4 edition. He's a project I started about a year ago to be able to show everyone how to get started overlanding on a budget. The best thing about overlanding is that you don't have to have the best of everything. Just get out and start using what you have. I'm also going to show you how you can spend very little money and just slowly but surely start building your rig. As a matter of fact, I started off sleeping in the back seat inside the cab on this, then moved on my last trip to an on-the-ground tent. But hey, today we're going to make a big upgrade so that we can be out in a little bit worse weather. So a lot of you are probably familiar with our 2018 Airstream Interstate GT named Pearl, and we still take her out, and we're going to take her on longer trips. But for the shorter trips, and for me going out solo especially, I'm taking what I've named Jethro. I haven't had this camper shell, and so, or truck topper, and so I've been keeping my eyes out on Facebook Marketplace the last 6 months or so, and had honestly just about given up. Last week I was thumbing through Marketplace. I'm kind of addicted, and I happened to find this. So Jethro is a 5.5 foot bed, and so it was really hard to find a topper like I wanted. And I just so happened to find this one off of a used car lot that had taken a 07 F-150 in on trade, and they were just wanting to get rid of this. So if you're patient, you can find some of these things. The biggest thing that I like about it is these side windows. Instead of being the sliding, they literally tilt up and pop up, and that allows for access inside. I can reach pretty much anything in here and be able to, adjust something or gain access to it. It's just held in place by 4 clamps that are pretty easy to get in place. Now this one is not carpeted or lined yet. I made a trip to Harbor Freight and to AutoZone, and along with some of the stuff that I've already got, already have, I want to basically fit this out to where it is the most efficient setup that I can get. One thing I've done is I had bought these big Husky rolling totes, and I've been using them for quite some time, and they're just handy. But what I've done is, this is now my toolbox, and so I've got my jack and some basic tool kits, jumper cables, chain, some tie down straps, leveling blocks, etc., etc. This will sit back to where I can keep it underneath the sleeping platform is my goal, and then I've got plans for this anti-fatigue roll mat for the floor, and possibly the bed or tailgate, sorry. Man, that kills my knees when I try to get up on that. And then I got some $12 a roll carpet, and I'm going to use that along with the spray adhesive to line the interior of the topper there. A little insulation and eye appeal. I've got a special plan for this $14 TV mount. I'll just let you know it has to do with that grill right there, and I'm going to see what I can do with it. And then I'm going to got some storage ideas and some lighting ideas, and so we're going to see what we can get done with regards to all that today. I'm going to start right here on the tailgate, since this is where I will be accessing my bed. And like I said, this is real hard on the knees, so I'm going to use these small self-tapping screws to fasten this anti-fatigue mat to the inside of this tailgate. That way it's a little bit easier on the knees. Okay. So I'm just trying to get that nice and even. So I've got this the bed tailgate cover in place now, and I'm going to start working on basically sliding the couple of other rolls into place. In the center, got the tailgate pad and 2 strips of the anti-fatigue mat laid and fastened with some self-tapping screws that have a little bit of a built-in washer on them. I'm gonna see if that'll work. I mean, I shouldn't be too rough on it in here, so may end up having to go back with some washers to cover a little bit more surface area, but all right. That was the other thing I was wanting to make sure of, was that it would shut. Looking good. So just a closer look. Like I said, I was using these self-tapping screws. They have a little bit of a washer, head. And there's the 2 rows of anti-fatigue mat down there. I'm gonna do a little bit of touch-up real quick on this bed liner and/or paint, and then I'm gonna start getting some other stuff done here. I will show you in my bed platform. You look underneath, it's just 3 2x4s that I had, in reserve, and then I just fastened the plywood to the 2x4s with screws so that they wouldn't shuffle around. And there's enough room that I can literally lift it up and just go right out the side if I want to get this out of here later. So as you can see, it's not screwed into place or anything like that. It's also resting to where it doesn't interfere with the clamps that are holding on the topper. So the other thing that I am excited about is I have a sliding back glass inside my truck, and this has a sliding back glass in the shell, so I should be able to access things back and forth through that little cubby hole if need be. So next here, I'm going to show you what I did with I believe it was $14 at Harbor Freight, and it's just a small, simple tilting TV mount, and I'll show you what I did with it. So I made myself a nice little grill mount. I've got a little locking mechanism here. Here, let me do this first. So this is how it's going to be and look when it's in here. It's all nice and mounted. I put a little hook on here to keep it from coming off, and just had to figure out how to get that back off. So there, boom. Now I've got a nice little place to grill, and it's always there, nice and mounted. I'm out, not using my tailgate space and not melting anything. So like I said, the only thing that I figure I may have to figure out is the bottle. May have to kind of put something for the bottle to rest on to support it, but we'll figure that out. I'm gonna do quite a bit of, let's just call it kind of repacking, rethinking. And what I want to do is try to use every bit of storage space that I can, but use it efficiently. And I have a lot of these little soft-sided bags, and you can pick these up. Another thing I picked up at Harbor Freight, they had them on sale for like $4, and I'm thinking that that This I picked up for $11. I think this will make quite the kitchen kind of tote deal that can probably just set right there to the side and it'll work quite nicely. I've got my sleeping platform, so bed is partially done. I will do some more on that here shortly, but next I'm going to break down kitchen, food storage and cooking. I've got my sleeping and my cooking taken care of. I'll look at lighting, and then I'll also look at seating. And so that could be as simple as what lawn chair am I going to take along with me, to I also would like to have a small seat in here. It's going to have to be low, but just in case I get stuck inside with it, extremely cold or raining outside, I can have a place to sit down, possibly even work from in here. And I'm also going to work on power. What I've done is I'm going to use this other big rolling tote to go underneath the bed. And what I've got in here is additional or extra sleeping gear, which is a couple of sleeping bags. I've got an extra roll of paper towels, some toilet paper, my emergency potty or throne. I have a hammock, and then my additional supply of propane bottles, and all that fits down in here. Also have some larger forks and or skewers and some tongs to cook with if I actually grill. So get that all fastened down. That's what I've got in there. And I'm going to basically just slide this back into place underneath the bed. Then I have a bag of fire starters, bug spray, tick spray, a couple of emergency little lanterns, some like emergency blankets, but that kind of gear. And then I've got my kitchen gear, and then in that tote I have my jet boil and a couple of things of propane. And then back there in the back I've got my little buddy heater. I'll get that kind of a little bit better here shortly. And then I think I'm going to put this just off of the front of one of these, just to have a cup holder or two in case I need one. Well, the other thing is, there's nothing that says I've got to put everything into the back of the pickup, and so I'm actually going to use my back seat with the seat up, and that's where I'm going to put like some of the stuff that I also want a little bit of extra security and be able to get to at any time. And so here's what I've done with that. So in here I have my little 12-volt fridge, and that's where I'll, of course, keep anything that I want to keep chilled. That will easily plug into my little converter up there. And then I have my dry food stores, which in here I've got stuff like coffee and canned goods, things like that, anything that's in a dry good kind of thing, food wise. And then I've got my water supply just sitting on top of that. And whenever I actually get into camp, I'll probably do either have that there, or put it on the tailgate next to the grill. Who knows? I can also just use that other seat while I'm in camp. But this gives me room to actually have, I could take a couple more people with me, because I've still got one seat over there, and makes it to where there's plenty of room. Even got a hang-up rack in case we need to have some hang-up clothes. I think I've just about got it roughed in. A rough idea of how I'm gonna do this. And like I said, got everything that I should need. The latest addition is I made my little stool. My pillows are gonna serve dual purpose, where I can sit up in here and have a little bit of a cushion in case, you know, just in case I absolutely need to. I also have my little buddy heater over in the back if need be. And then anyway, I got my sleeping platform. I've got my canopy, pop-up canopy that I can put. I figured out last time I can literally set it to where it just kind of overlaps the back of the truck, and it should work beautifully as a canopy. And no need to mount something to the sides or take away the exterior looks or spend $500-600. Okay, so the last thing I was going to try for the day, I decided I was going to go ahead and try out some of the lighting that I'd bought. They had these for $8 at Harbor Freight, and they are a solar LED, and you know, kind of a little floodlight. And so I'm going to show you what I do with those. So I ended up putting one on each side of the back glass. I'll have some puck lights inside, but as far as exterior, this will give me a couple of lights. It'll give me light coming down right in here, I think. And if not, then I may end up re-sticking them up higher or something like that. But I just wanted to give them a good chance to charge. You gotta charge them 3 days before they will even work. Good morning, day 2 of my little camper shell truck camping build. And I thought a lot about it last night, and I'm adding just an extension to my bed. I'll make it a little bit wider so that I can angle across, and if I need to stretch my legs, I can actually do that. But I'm also making it a separate extension so that I can maybe have it drop down, there we go, kind of maybe ride right there, and hide some of the storage, but kind of serve dual purposes. So anyway, I have cut a couple more boards, everything to length, so I'm gonna get to installing. Also put up my little canopy. This is just a slant leg canopy, and what I've done is rigged it up to where I have the legs extended down, but they're not locked. And so I've just used some bungees to connect it to the hatch. And that way, if a burst or a gust of wind comes up, it doesn't just take off with it. But anyway, we're just making it through with this budget build. So I'm gonna get to installing this real quick. Well, here we go. So I have notched it and got that in place. That's where it will stow. And then that took about 10 seconds. That's it in place. It made a huge difference in the amount of space that I have to stretch out, and I can actually diagonal across. And I mean, I'm loving it. That way it's not that way all the time, and I can move it if I need to, have some room to sit in the back or to get around things. But if I get ready to go to bed, I just put that little piece, that extension, back up in place, and good to go. And it's still just as portable and not fixed in place as, you know, the original section. So everything in here I can have out just as, I mean, nothing is fastened in place. So other than the anti-fatigue mat. So loving it. This is actually coming together a lot better than I was even hoping for. All right, so we're ready to cover this. I just bought the replacement carpet, the cheap, like $12 a roll replacement carpet you can get at AutoZone, and I'm gonna use that. It's actually just a little bit heavier than the felt that you can buy, and I kind of like that. So anyway, and it just seems at least to be a whole lot cheaper and easier to work with and deal with. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. That and some automotive headliner adhesive. So first thing I'm gonna do is get this measured to length and somewhat cut. That way I'm not wasting a whole lot or trying to cut it while I'm gluing it down. Let me use a little trick. I've got some clamps here. I'm just going to clamp this into place. That'll allow for just about the right amount of overlap. This side, and I'm going to roll this back here. I've clamped it in this way, and I've pulled it off over here to the end and put a weight, basically a little jack stand down here. No, I don't have it in frame, but that's all right. That way I can apply, it says for best results, apply to both surfaces and let it stand for 5 minutes. So I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna apply liberally. And I'm going to apply to this as well. I'll have to come back for the very end here that's clamped and kind of out of the way. That's fine. Let this set up for 2 or 3 more minutes. It says just until tacky. It's pretty tacky actually, but we'll let it set up for just a couple more minutes. Okay, it has set up. It's tacky. The scissors here where they're handy, and I am just going to start laying this over. Now, pretty nicely. I think that's as far as I'm going to take it, because this is all you're going to see right here is that, and this little seam will go away with time, and honestly it doesn't look bad anyway. Here's the other end. Like I said, this back side will be hidden, so I did not overlap it per se. I just trimmed it off even, but yeah. That'll look good. Oh yeah, there it is installed. That's gonna look good, especially whenever I get the inside of the camper itself lined. It's gonna look awesome. Gonna look awesome. I'm very pleased. If you like today's content, please hit that subscribe button. sure helps out our channel. And stay tuned while we do some further upgrades to lighting, paint, and more. And if you're new, check out some of these other videos.